Hey there guys, this is Sid, aka Jinxer or Soulcaster, and I'm going to make a second tutorial video. This one's going to focus more on how a new player or a veteran player can start to become more advanced and be a competitive player, whether that's PvP or PvE, whichever you choose. So in my original video I talked about keybind setups and how you want to keybind and how you don't want to be a clicker. By being a clicker I mean you're walking around and you have to click all your abilities to use. So you have to click this, click that, target yourself, click the heals, target the enemy again, click the abilities to use. As you can see, got some videoed some nice ability fail there actually, but so you don't want to be clicking abilities to use. You want to have everything bound. So I'm free to move, and then I hit number 4 here to fire the grenade. So I can do whatever I want with the mouse and just hit number 4, fire the grenade. Hit R to use charge bolts, F for full auto, and there's nothing that needs to be clicked. So my mouse is free to do whatever I want. I can click target, which is really hard to do in this game, or I can just use it for moving the camera around, which is really the most important thing. Some people use their mouse entirely to move. Like right now, only my mouse is controlling my movement. Camera, movement. I don't like doing that. I only like using the mouse to move the camera. I walk with WSAD. All my key binds are around WSAD, and everything is bound. So it's 1 through 5. This is CERF. This is Shift 1 through 5, CERF, Shift 1, CERF, and then these are bound to the mouse because I have 3 thumb buttons on my mouse. Some people like to use those Razer Nagas, the 12-button mouse. So it's got 12 buttons on for your one thumb. A lot of pro gamers use them. I don't particularly care for it, but if it works for you, that's even better. The main thing to do when you're starting out playing or getting into the game, or you've been playing this game for a long time, is just don't be a clicker. You just can't play at a competitive level at all by being a clicker. You just can't. It simply can't be done. However good you think you are, however good you actually are, you would be 10 times better if you just use keybinds. So walking around, whether it's even PvE, where it's slower and not as dynamic as PvP is, you still shouldn't be clicking. You shouldn't be clicking heals, you shouldn't be clicking attacks. It's just not efficient at all. I have to click mortar volley, I have to click where to place it. It's just wasting time. To show you an example of that, this tech override ability makes my next ability that has an activation time fire instantly. This one makes my next ability fire not cost any action. So on Commando Medic, for example, I like to use these 2 abilities at the same time, so they have the same cooldown timer. So I always use them at the same time, and they always refresh at the same time then. And so I can use these 2 abilities quickly and then fire off either a heal to myself, or since it makes my next ability free, I usually use it with a plasma grenade if I need to DPS. Shouldn't really be DPSing as a commando, but there are times where you get into a 1v1 and you need some DPS. So rather than, let's say, click this, and then click my plasma grenade, watch what happens when I have them keybound. I'm going to fire my plasma grenade and then fire high impact bolt. And watch how fast it is, and my mouse doesn't even move at all. So I just go 1, 2, 3, fire, and then high impact bolt. There's no way clicking would have been faster to do that. Do you see how fast that was? It's because your keybinds just make everything much easier. Your left hand is you doing your abilities while your right hand's free to move the camera. You just can't go 1, 2, click that. See, I'm not even a good clicker because I just misclicked the wrong ability. But you get what I'm talking about. This is a good example of why clicking is bad. I wanted to touch on some how to play Healer Commando real fast also in this tutorial. I'll just cover some of the basics. The first and most important thing to realize when you're playing any class is when you pick the abilities, whatever they may be in the tree, understand and read what they are. Because there's a lot of people that just say, what's a good commando build? And then people will tell them, you know, 33, 1, whatever. And so then they just pick that tree, and now they just filled in what they thought real fast, and they're like, okay, I have the same build. Well, not necessarily. Maybe you do, but you should understand what each box does, why you're picking each box. And as you get down to having less and less points, starting to choose which box is better. Maybe, you know, I only got 2 points left. Do I want to put the 2 points here, or do I want to put the 2 points here? You know, where do those points, where are they better suited? And make builds that work well to your playstyle. But the most important thing is understand why you have the build you have and what those abilities do. So that said, this is a basic setup of how I play Healer Commando. This is the tree I use. It changes from time to time, but this is what I'm using for now. So how you start playing Healer Commando is, whether it's PvP or PvE, you always want to start by using your hammer shot while in your combat support cell to build the stack of Supercharged Gas. Whenever you're about to start PvP or start an operation or something like that, you should always have this 30 stack already there. Now what that does is it lets you use Supercharged Gas. Now this is only as usable if you get this box in your expertise or talent trees. I call it expertise because I'm from SWG, so it's hard for me to say talent trees. This used to be called expertise. Anyway, so in your talent tree, I have Supercharged Gas or Supercharged Cells. This, you should understand and read what it does so you know what they do when you activate it.